哎，你来了！我告诉你，我今天拿了一款非常屌的车，
就这个
啊！
这不是思域吗？
哎，你也太没文化了！这车有 turbo， 有 VTEC， 后面 V 大的你吃饭都可以。你车有啥？
我车有 V8。
好吧。What is going on, everybody? This is Runzi, and welcome back to another episode of the Battle of the Yard. As you can see, we're taking a look at the 2018 Honda Civic Type R today for our series. And if you haven't checked out our first episode, make sure you check that out for the 2019 Volkswagen Golf R as our first ever episode. And if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and smash that thumbs up and help our channel grow so we can bring you even more better and more premium content. Starting with the styling aspect of the Civic Type R, it is probably one of the most atrocious hatchback on the market. It is so in your face with the aero kit, with the bolt-ons, the way it sounds, and of course the wheel designed for the profile as well. Looking at the front, as you can see, it resembles a lot of the Civic hatch. It came from the Civic hatch platform. It has a piano black center grille over here, very nice. It has these fake meshes, which to me personally I don't quite like, especially they have the fake sensors over here which came out from the Civic hatch, and these sensors do actually work in the Civic hatch but not on the Type R. Other than that, everything else is completely functional. You have some vents over here that goes in and cools the brakes. You have this additional gap between the grille and the hood for more air coming in and cools the engine. Very cool. I love when Honda puts everything into perspective and make sure everything is functional. Super important. You have this faux carbon, which is fake carbon lip over here. I like that a lot. Why? Because if it's real carbon and you crack it, it's gonna cost a lot of money to repair. So I do appreciate this kind of design element or styling part of the Civic Type R. And last but not least, you have a little bit of a hood scoop over here that the air can come in and comes out in the fenders. So everything, once again, is aerodynamic and functional. The aggression continues at the profile of the Civic Type R, and you're gonna notice a little bit different setup because we have a set of 18-inch wheels that Benson swapped out from the OEM 20-inch wheels, and he put on a set of Firestone Indy 500 tires on it. And from what he told me, he loved the comfort, the noise, and the whole overall driving experience better than the OEM setup. Behind it, you'll find yourself a set of vented and drilled rotors with 4 pistons pads in the front and 1 piston in the rear. Of course, they're Brembo, they're painted in red, again matching the aggression and intrusiveness just right in your face when you look at the profile of the vehicle. And moving on to the rear quarter panel, we have this kind of wheel arch over here, kind of like a wide body or a little bit buffer, but it stops at the rear quarter panel. It doesn't continue onto the rear doors. So I actually like the design over here, but I'm not sure if that's for everyone's taste. So you guys let me know, what do you guys think about the design element or the styling element of the rear quarter panel and how the wheel arches is. From what Benson told me, he got the wheels and it flushes out very nicely at the profile of the vehicle. So I actually like this a lot more than the OEM wheels. Now the rear side of the Type R has a lot of things going on. Number one, you have this giant, huge spoiler, which composes 1, 2, 5 pieces, and below it you have another spoiler right underneath. I mean, for the regular Civic hatch and the Type R, there's a huge distinction, and you will know right away which one's the Civic hatch and which one is the Type R versus the Golf. Regular Golf and the Golf R, hard to see which one is the Golf R and then which one is the regular Golf, right? So pop open the truck over here. Very gracious amount of space. Of course, I don't expect anything less from a hatchback. You're supposed to fit a lot of things in here. And to finish off at the rear side, you have the full carbon diffuser and a trio exhaust right in the center. Once again, if you're not sure that this car is a Type R and you saw 3 exhausts in the middle, again, that's a confirmation that this car is again a Type R. I've actually seen some Civic hatchbacks with this wing, so guys, stop doing that. That's fake news, and leave that to the Type Rs on the road. Now the interior of the Type R meets kind of comfort a little bit with styling. Number one, I know Benson added a lot of carbon fiber inserts on the steering wheel where the power options are near the door. So I like the touches that Benson did for the real carbon. And of course you have more faux carbons over here on the panels right where the passenger is. And I kind of like the design of the steering wheel. Why? Because it's in 2 tones. Number 1 is black and number 2 is red on the bottom. But this red pairs with the red stitching that runs across the entire steering wheel. So styling portion of the steering wheel, beautiful, beautiful. And the seats are bucket racing seats. I like them a lot because, you know, it hugs me when I do tough corners or sharp corners, but I actually prefer leather over cloth. That is my personal preference. Again, if you like cloth, cool. If you like leather, cool as well. Both options are great, great, great. And one cool feature on the styling part of the Type R is the center boot, or where your stick shift is, more of the red stitching, and you have your individual R badging over here telling you this is number 14970 from the Civic Type R. I don't see that in the WRX, Ford Focus RS, or the Golf R. And you know what? After sitting in these chairs for quite some time, I'm actually in love, or getting more in love with these cloth, sorry, English not good, cloth bucket racing seats over here. Feels very comfortable. Maybe it just mows my body a lot better than the average people, but it feels very comfortable and I'm beginning to love it more and more. And what's really cool about the comfort and the design element of the Civic Type R is this Alcantara center compartment over here. Feels very nice. I just discovered that this is Alcantara and I love it so much. I'm not sure if this side part is Alcantara, but this is definitely Alcantara. To finish off, we have black cloth headliners, one of my personal favorites in cars, period. And you're gonna notice you don't have sunroof in this car. We didn't have the sunroof in the Golf R. I'm not sure if there's sunroof in the WRX and the Ford Focus RS, but I'm pretty sure by not having this sunroof, you have more of a stronger structural core to this car. The technology goes hand in hand with comfort. I mean, you have your dual zone climate control. I don't think you have heated seats in this car. You have navigation. The Honda software is always nice in color, saturation, and sharpness. Great on the eyes. When you stop this car on reverse, the lines turn with it, and you have 3 different angles to view your rear view camera options. For the 2019 model, all these touch screen becomes actual physical buttons, and they've added a volume knob button for the 2019. This car is 2018. I just want to make sure everyone realize that. Putting that on climates, again, you know, AC, high, low, sure. Below it, you have your wireless charging pad, one of my favorite features in cars, period. But what's cool about the technology is they have the brake hold function. To me, love it a lot. I use it in my car. I don't think I can live without it now, especially how bad the traffic is on the 401. And beside it, you have your different mode, which once again, we'll test out once we put this car onto the road. But what's really cool about the technology and design element on the center dash is this map over here, which will tell you how much brake pressure you're applying and how much throttle pressure, ooh, sounds great, you're applying as well. I don't think I've seen any car that will tell you how much brake pressure you're applying, so that to me is a first, and I find that pretty cool. So the first thing I did putting this car into the road is putting this car on the Plus R race mode. Super cool, all the dials changed to red. We're gonna experience this car on the local road first, and then we're gonna take it on the highway and just really punch it. But since 2 things we haven't mentioned at the earlier video, which is performance and handling, right? So what do we have here, guys? We have a 2-liter turbocharged VTEC engine giving you 305 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. Wait, 306 horsepower, 305 or 306? Regardless, it doesn't matter. It is the fastest front-wheel drive production car, period. So Honda Civic Type R holds the title. I'm excited, you're excited. Putting this car on race mode or plus R mode has the adaptive dampening system, which tightens up and makes the suspension a little bit more stiff. The steering feels a lot heavier than the regular mode, which I do appreciate when driving sports cars. Because for me, you do need stiffer steering whenever you're driving a sporty car or a race car as well, right? So, and this car also, you see that, guys? You see that flow movement? What does this car have? Downshift rev-match. I love this feature a lot, which we don't have that in the Golf R. But what does that mean? Every time you downshift, this car will automatically rev-match to the gear or the previous gear for you, so you don't have to heel toe to get that perfect synchronization every single time. So this, you have no excuse not to downshift if you're driving a Type R on a day-to-day basis. And I gotta be honest with you guys, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of these wheels with the Indy 500 tires. The road noise, not too much. I actually hear the exhaust more than the tire noise or more than the road noise, right? So comfort-wise, definitely a lot more comfortable. I do think that's one of the benefits of having a meatier tire is to get the whole overall street driving comforts for this kind of wheel setup. And I do want to ask anyone who's very familiar with front wheel drive vehicles, why? Because I have a rear wheel drive vehicle. My wheels are staggered, which means that the rear wheels are a lot more wider than the front for better traction and pickup speed, right? So this car currently have a square setup. So I'm not quite sure if anyone is running a wider wheel in the front for front wheel drive performance vehicles, right? So I have always been curious about that subject and debate. So if you guys know anything or have any information in that division, just let me know. And let me know if you're running even staggered front or staggered rear for your Type R or any front wheel drive performance vehicles. And we're about to head onto the 404 North. I love this downshift, sync rev downshift. It blips, it sounds so nice. And we're gonna punch this car right now. Cornering feels nice. I'm gonna I want to do that again. I want to freaking do that again. Downshift, it's just so effortlessly perfect every single time, and I think this is a must-have in any manual transmission vehicles. Why else wouldn't you want to downshift for that perfect punch, for that perfect acceleration every single time you need it? And I do notice, I know today's a little bit windy and all that. From the acceleration, I do hear a lot of the wind noise from the outside environment. Sure, build materials could be a little bit better, but the acceleration, the punch, the fun, the excitement will make you want to do it again, and once again. I'm gonna actually kick this down to comfort mode. Oh yeah, the steering feels a lot lighter right away. The throttle feels a little bit more heavier, I feel like. So it will restrict some of that airflow coming in for better fuel economy. And regardless if I'm on comfort mode or sport or plus R mode, the suspension still makes me feel like it's still easier for the day-to-day driving scenario, right? Because you don't want too stiff of suspension. Why? Because you're still going to be driving this car on a day-to-day basis. This is a track-oriented car, don't get me wrong. This car, for me, if I were to purchase it, I would still drive it on a day-to-day drive basis. Same with the Golf R, Ford Focus RS, and the WRX STI, right? So with the amount of potholes here in Toronto or here in the GTA, you will want something in the middle. Great for cornering, and great on your butt whenever you're going on these potholes. And sometimes, guys, you just can't avoid these potholes. So that's why you will want the suspension to be on the softer side as a day-to-day driving basis. And this car has the adaptive dampening system, which marries both the track orientation and the day-to-day orientation. Holy shit! I'm so sorry, Yu-Chen. That was a huge pothole. He's laughing behind the camera. We both saw that huge potholes right in front of us. And this kind of thing makes you feel like you need to pay attention on the road 150% of the time. There's a lot of things in this car that took me by surprise that I didn't really imagine. I didn't think I would enjoy this car as much, and I didn't think for a front-wheel drive vehicle, the pickup speed will be a lot better than the Golf R. I don't know about the Ford Focus RS, I don't know about the WRX STI, but so far, in terms of performance, handling, and styling, this car is beating the Golf R. Comfort-wise, I think it will definitely come down to your personal preference. I am growing into loving these bucket racing cloth seats. I think the Golf R leather seats, very comfortable as well. Definitely a lot more comfortable in traffic, in my opinion. But on a track, I don't know if that car will hug me as tightly as the Type R. And technology-wise, you know, more or less the same. Every car has navigation, your boost gauges, your rear view camera, great dual zone climate control. I do think the Golf R has the heated seats, which I do appreciate, but it doesn't have the gauge where it shows me how much brake pressure or how much throttle pressure I'm applying, where I'm seeing in the Type R. So give or take, both great vehicles, but in terms of performance and handling, the Type R definitely won in this episode. So that's it for me today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the video we did for the Honda Civic Type R. Thank you, Benson, for letting me experience this car. Had so much fun, more than what I expected. Now, who do you think should be the winner of the Battle of the R's?
Type R.
Well, there you have it, guys. I will see you on a brand new episode next week. We're going to take out the Ford Focus RS.